Hello everyone, I'm a Talk Tennis member under the code name Black Pearl 2007. I was fortunate enough to be selected for the Babolat RPM Blast Rough String Test. It came in a 16 gauge, so thank you Tennis Warehouse for this awesome opportunity. Let's see what I thought. Okay, I strung this racket up at 55 pounds initially, and then I strung it up at 49 pounds in my Pure Drive Tour racket. Overall, it was an easy string to string. I did have it not at me at times when I was stringing it, but I did not open up the package correctly. I think I've seen some members posting on how to properly open up a Babolat package, and I did not do that, so I got it out and started to unwind it, and it started to get in a bit of a knot mess. But overall, good string, easy to string, it glides over the strings pretty smoothly, and I didn't have any problems as far as stringing the racket's concerned. I would rate this string more powerful and more durable in the Babolat lineup than maybe I would have it a control string. Not to say that it's got all power, it certainly has some control, but you have to be conscious, at least I did, on putting that spin in. And maybe if I tried in a different racket or my other racket that I like to play with, which is the XT Extreme Pro, maybe I'd find a little bit more control from that standpoint. I think you're going to have to string it tight, at least I would. I have to string it tight, probably above 55, maybe even 57, 58 pounds. And at that string tension, its comfort's probably just not going to be there. At least it is for me. I have a sensitive wrist, and in this setup, with this stiff racket and this stiff string, I'm probably going to have some comfort issues at that high of a pound. So control, I would say average at best, maybe even a little bit below average, at least for me. From a comfort perspective, I would say it's below average. In fact, I thought it was brassy at times, particularly when you first string it up. I strung it up at 55 pounds. That's just too tight, in my opinion, for this gauge of a string and in this racket. Now, 49 pounds, I didn't have that same stiff feeling at the beginning, but it was still a little brassy. But even at 49 pounds, I thought that you would probably need to go lower from a poundage perspective to get the ultimate comfort with this string, and then you're probably looking at a particular setup, at least with this racket and this string, that's probably going to be a little bit more powerful than you like. Let's talk about durability. Never had a problem at either stringing, never did break, never was there any signs of it breaking, so I would say durability is excellent, particularly in a 16 gauge poly like this. Spin, good spin. Certainly out of 16 gauge, I'd love to try this in a 17 gauge because I think the spin would be exceptional. At 55 pounds, I would say the spin was just above average, and certainly when I got it at 49 pounds, I thought I was getting good spin, particularly as I was really brushing up on the ball, and you could see the ball take off and kind of plow through the court. So I thought spin was pretty good for this string. As it compares to my string of choice, the Yamamoto 17 gauge, again, this was a 16 gauge, so it's a 1.30, where that Yamamoto is a 1.24. I just find the Yamamoto a bit more playable. This is a good string. It's a very durable string. It's going to give you a little bit more power. The spin's going to be pretty good in that. I'd love to try it in a 17 gauge to see how it compares to my Yamamoto 17 gauge. But I just felt like the Yamamoto 17 gauge just gives me a little bit more spin, certainly more control. It's not as stiff. I would say the stiffness rating on the Yamamoto is probably lower than the stiffness rating is on this one. So overall, I like my Yamamoto 17 a bit better. Final thoughts? Definitely a good string. It's a good string in Babolat's lineup. It's not my favorite string in Babolat's lineup, but overall, it's a good string. It's going to give you more power. It's going to rate more power, more durability than probably some of the other strings. But for me, ultimately, I like a little bit of a softer string, one that's going to give me a little bit more playability as it relates to what the string is giving you. But again, thank you, Tennis Warehouse. Great opportunity. Thank you, Babolat, for